Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, once again. Welcome. How are you all doing? Hope you had a great day today. And here we are to continue with the real-time strategy Bellows of the Genre series. Yesterday I was quite disappointed with Grey Goo. I didn't expect to experience such a boring mission in game design, in which I couldn't expand my base, in which I couldn't do anything at all. So today, again, sorry that I'm late, but today we will probably be finishing Grey Goo's Goo campaign, the campaign for the Goo faction. So gentlemen, after finishing Grey Goo and proceeding to the final analysis, this time around I think, in case you haven't checked out the Twitch page channel description, I've added the leisure gameplay description. So from now on, the streams will be split into two sections. So after the main analysis stream, there will be an intermission with the same intro sequence that I have. In which I will change the title, take a rest, I'll wait some minutes, and then I'll get to the leisure gameplay, which is gameplay of myself without a camera, of all of the games that I play off stream generally. So there is no comments, no analysis. It's not commented gameplay. As you can, I encourage you to read the description. Anyway, I will highlight it in the title description. Of course, if I think it's a game which, even if I played it off stream, you would never watch because it's an oversaturated game, of course, So, yeah, today we began late, so today there will be no intro. I've been playing Grey Goo, just so you know, and I had to wait a great amount of time uh, in order to have a decent army and overcome this mission. But I will tell you that even if Grey Goo is excellent, as I told you yesterday, maybe yesterday I was a bit salty, the game is great, but then again, gentlemen, uh, it's obvious that sadly, unfortunately, Grey Goo has been designed for online play, and it's sad. It's sad. I didn't expect it because, as I've told you, Star Wars Empire at War, as well as Star Wars, the expansion Forces of Corruption, both of them created by Petroglyph Games, were single-player focused. You could even do some. They even had some conquest modes in which you had to conquer the whole galaxy. It was excellent. I certainly didn't expect this game to be so multiplayer focused. So, anyway, we'll play till the end, and I'll proceed to the analysis. But preemptively, I will tell you that even if I have a personal love for Petroglyph games, I need to be fair, and I will not award it the highest qualification for my analysis. So I cannot award DS, the highest qualification of my qualification system, the highest grade of my qualification system, to a game that is multiplayer focused. I simply cannot. It goes against my principles and those of the true gamers, the ones that actually know the fate that the gaming industry should be heading towards, the direction it should be heading towards, and that it's being sadly corrupted by Fortnite, Among Us, all of the pieces of shit that I complain about daily on this channel. So, I will not award Grey Goo the highest qualification. Now, what remains to be seen is which qualification should I award it if it isn't the highest, of course. As a quick reminder, as I do every time, we are right here at the third mission of the Goo campaign. We finished the human campaign, here you have it, and the beta campaign. Now, instead of Petroglyph Games doing, and consider that out of all of these, this one, even this one, and this one, I mean the first 3 missions of each mini campaign are tutorial missions. So we are left with what, 4, 5 missions per race for the campaign. That's extremely weak, poor, bland, disgusting, graceless. I don't know which adjective should I use. Well, but anyway, the game has excellent artificial intelligence, as I always tell you, excellent pathfinding, and I can fully recommend it, but not at a full price. That's for sure, because the essence of gaming, the essence of the gaming industry, is none other than the main campaign. The main attraction for all games should be the campaign, the single player. We should never forget that multiplayer should be an addition, a secondary demand that the players should be doing. But apparently, this evil and horrible people who are right now the influencers, the media, the gaming media press, all of them, all they do is advertise multiplayer shit. So, my way to uh, tell you the truth, the reality of the situation, the essence of gaming is single player. And whoever doesn't think, who thinks this is a false claim, first of all, you should explain me why you think that, and back your arguments with logic and proper logical thinking. I can do so. I have been doing it for months, telling you that the real-time strategy genre shouldn't be dead because of a lot of reasons that I've been explaining, that the MOBA genre killed it because of the Chinese investment of Riot Games and all of that, but it's a different genre because it's not real-time tactics. The differences between all those genres, everything that I've explained, I don't want to be boring once again. To be a boring person once again. So, with all of that in mind, gentlemen, I will not award Grey Goo the highest qualification. Well, here you can see it took me a lot of time yesterday. I had to calm down, I had to play some other things, and then I could find the patience required to, with only 2 catalyst resource points, harvest enough catalyst to create this army that you are watching right before your eyes. So, gentlemen, as I had to do this very same thing with Battle Realms Winter of the Wolf, and that is absolutely, completely sad that I had to stop the stream and off-stream grind, let's call it, wait. It's not even grinding because I had to wait. I had to literally wait. Simply turtle. I only destroyed one wall, just like this one over here, and wait for 34 minutes. A clear flaw in game design. Something which I didn't expect that Performance Games would do, especially being this their third real-time strategy their third AAA real-time strategy game. I will summarize and assess the quality of Grey Goo later tonight, when we will probably be able to proceed to the final analysis. And in the meantime, we'll get to play the rest of the Goo campaign. Alright, so yesterday was a sad day. I lost my temper for a while, but when you analyze video games, you need to remain calm regardless of the situation. So we'll send this third Mother Goo over here. You need to remain calm regardless of the situation. So we'll get over here. We'll get over here. We'll continue with the analysis for Grey Goo, gentlemen.
The nest contains bastion and destructor units. Combination optimal for opposing increased enemy firepower.
God damn it. God damn it, this mission is so bad. So bad. I can't understand what they were thinking. I can't understand what were they thinking. What were they thinking? I'll never be able to understand what were they thinking. I will never be able to understand. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? This mission is so terrible. Alright. Let's send that other mother goo over here. I'll never be able to understand what were they thinking. I also can't load, apparently. Oh.
Unit under attack.
I need some defense against those air units. So I will send two Tempests.
Unit under attack.
Bear in mind that those are fully upgraded distractors with area of effect abilities. This mission has all of the problems that Battle Realms Winter of the Wolf had. Sadly. All of them. Waiting for a lot of time.
Unit under attack.
That Predator is highly effective against my distractors, so I need to be careful.
Unit under attack.
Oh, damn it. I need some crescents. And let's bring some... two Tempests. There we go. What's that? Another Mother Goo. What's she doing over here? There we go. There we go. As you can see, both the Tempest and the Distractors are fully upgraded. The Distractors do area of effect damage due to an upgrade, and the Tempests corrosive pool, they leave a corrosive pool after shooting, which heals the rest of the units standing on it. There we go. And now we'll have to turtle for a bit, for some more time, until I can fully destroy their base. So let's go for another Mother Goo. Right here. As you can see, they heal. And let's bring this guy. So let's attack that wall. No. You stay right here. Let's attack that wall with our Tempest. Alright, I need more than 2, since they can shut down our projectiles. There they are, bothering again. They're about to attack again over here. Let's morph that into 2 more Tempests and bring them over here. There we go. Okay, they're trying to recover their lost ground. They're trying to recover lost ground by placing that structure, but of course it's useless. So there's a predator over there. I need to be careful. Those are the only ones that can take down my distractors. There we go. So you can see how dull, unfortunately, sadly, this mission has been. Turtling, just like Battle Realms Winter of the Wolf. This mission had the same. It did the same mistakes, the very same mistakes that I criticized to Battle Realms Winter of the Wolf. And we need game developers to learn from this, so the real-time strategy genre lives again someday. Let's go more large Protean. Here we go. Another one. This should be faster now that we have 4 Grey Goos. But see how slow it is. It's the worst of the worst. For a real-time strategy game to be slow, it's the worst of the worst. And it's sad, because the rest of the game was excellent, but this mission is... Oh, what's that? I got some things over there. Some reinforcements, apparently. Oh. Alright, maybe we can hide these guys over here while I expand my army. Alright. By the way, gentlemen, I'm already on the process, I haven't finished, of uploading the rest of the Grey Goo campaign, which you will have available on YouTube probably on Friday or Saturday. I'll try to upload it as fast as I can, so you'll have it at your disposal on Friday or Saturday. Right, let's send those 2 large Proteans over here. What could be under attack? Ah. There we go. Saved. Barely, but saved. Oh, what's that? I knew I had a fourth one and that it didn't die. There we go. There we go. Hold ground. Don't move. There we go. Much better. So, imagine how the bad reputation that these kind of missions give to the real-time strategy genre. It's simply sad. What's this? Morph Bastion. Heavy wall unit, but line of sight, blah, blah, blah. Morph Crescent. Okay. But even so, gentlemen, I can fully recommend Grey Goo. Just bear in mind that it doesn't have a great single-player campaign. You could all see it. I think the gameplay is the best way for all of you to see it, gentlemen. Excellent artificial intelligence, excellent pathfinding, excellent graphics, excellent cutscenes. The presentation and the execution, the artistic execution of the game are both pristine. They are excellent. But unfortunately, I can't fully award this game the highest qualification if it's focused on multiplayer. I simply can't. Multiplayer, unfortunately, has been responsible for the death of a lot of genres, as you all know, as I always mention to all of you, and I will not support multiplayer. Preferably games. I grew up playing your games. I love your works of art. They are exquisite, but I will always recommend Star Wars Empire at War from 2006 before this game. Sad, but it's that way. Sad but truth. Sad but true. Unfortunately true. This game is sadly focused on multiplayer. So you can see that it has pacing problems. This is the worst mission. Of course, don't take it as indicative of the full quality for this game, but the real-time strategy genre deserves better. I'm sorry, but even if I love Petroglyph games, I grew up playing their games. My first priority, is to defend and protect the real-time strategy genre from the multiplayer scam that the rest of the genres have been sadly suffering. Not all of them, bear in mind. Not all of them, fortunately. Let's take down those predators. Let's see how you survive this. Okay. There we go.
Heavy aircraft detected. Chance of saturation bombing attack on our units near 100%.
Yeah, whatever.
Units hidden in this area. Unit optimal for ambush operations.
I don't know what those are, but they glow a lot. The dwellers, I think they leave some mines behind. Okay. There we go. There we go. But yeah, mainly the problem of this mission was that if in order to have fun, you have to turtle for half an hour.
Requesting airstrike to this area.
It's terrible. Fuck your airstrike. Damn it. God damn it. There we go. Not much they could do anyway. I'll simply move the remaining goo units and destroy them. As for the rest, we should already, yeah? 2, 3, and I forgot about this one, 4. Yeah. Let's see how you try to bombard this. There we go. 6 more distractors. There we go. But as I told you, gentlemen, I cannot recommend. It goes against my principles to recommend a game that is clearly online oriented. Doesn't matter how.
There it is. Requesting airstrike to this area.
That is clearly multiplayer focused. I cannot do so. It goes against my principles. I cannot. Games should be single player focused, and the campaign for this game has clearly been sadly sacrificed to make sure that the multiplayer is better. That's an insult, and I cannot tolerate it. I will tell you that even so, Petrolis games, they are masters of the genre. There's no, it's not incompatible. The fact that this game was multiplayer oriented with the fact that they are one of the best real-time strategy developers ever, but it's, for me, it's sad to find out that this game was, it's so unfortunately, sadly focused, as I told you. It was created to be a multiplayer game, and that goes against my principles.
There it is. Requesting airstrike to this area.
Which area? Ah, but I have anti-air. Well, it's not enough apparently. Alright, it's that area. Wait, they can't do any air strikes without them. God damn it. We need more tempests. We need more tempests. For the rest of you, continue the assault. Oh no.
Enemy spotted. Targets painted for bombing.
There we go. Wait, I want to select all of these mother goose. Well, two actually. And send. Alright. Let's destroy the predators first. They are a threat to our distractors, and then proceed to destroy the rest of them. There we go. Alright, let's regroup, shall we? There we go. Let's see how much time it's taking. Great. Let's bring those entire units over here, so we can finally get rid of those pesky bombers. Come on. I need to, all of you, morph into distractors. There we go. Probably the worst mission for this game, and I'm not talking about in terms of difficulty, but in terms of pacing, ideas, innovation. It's simply horrible. There we go. Alright, so they are coming from here, I assume. Let's destroy anything in our path. At our path. Now. There we go. There we go, the Predator. Aha, so you are producing those things. such a beleaguered genre, gentlemen. Such a beleaguered genre for them to simply create more multiplayer shit that we don't need. Ah, such a great game. And it's ruined because of that multiplayer focus.
Scans of this area indicate it was an air support center. This should reduce the number of spotters.
Alright, so these things are coming from here. See how we lost our army and we achieved nothing. This is so stupid. This is bad game design. If I overrun their base, they shouldn't be able to send any more of those things. God damn it. Let's try to stop complaining and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's create control groups so we're faster. Very well. Come on, how much? How much more time? Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, 4 actually. There we go. So as you can see, gentlemen, as you can see, this was all of the mission. 34 minutes. Now another, well, 1 hour and 8. It's a lot more time. I don't know what they were thinking. What were they thinking? What were they thinking? I can't believe Petroglyph Games released a game focused on multiplayer. It's the worst of the worst. The game and the pity is that the gameplay, it's great. The game has an excellent. The game is excellent. It has such an excellent presentation, but it's sadly multiplayer focused. It's sadly multiplayer focused, and for me, that's a big no. It's a big no. It's a big no. Sadly, it's tough and harsh to be a real-time strategy genre fan nowadays. With all of this, gentlemen, it's tough and harsh, because just when you thought that someday the developers for this genre understood what we needed, you stumble upon these problems, which are things that we've already commented in the past. You can't focus your game on multiplayer. That's so disgusting. That's so disgusting. Fall Guys, Among Us, Fortnite, all of this all of that filth. We cannot allow the rest of the genres to fall prey of those pieces of shit, and I blame them, because you know, when other game developers see that the developers for Fall Guys, Fortnite, Among Us, and all of these shit multiplayer titles get a lot of money, they unfairly get a lot of money because their games are shit, because they have no game. They objectively don't have a properly developed gameplay system. They don't have the proper artificial intelligence development. They don't create their own game engines. They all use Unreal Engine. And you see that they promote such as Rust, that they promote on Indian TV a video game. What are you doing promoting a game on Indian TV? What are you doing? What are you trying to turn the game industry into? Would be the question I would have to make to these developers. The question I would need to make to these developers, that I would love to make to these developers. I would certainly love to ask them, why is it needed to promote, why do you need to promote Rust on Indian TV in order to be a successful game company? Well, probably the answer would be none other than what's it to you? Why do you bother about that? It's our problem. You're a dictator, a Nazi. I don't know. They would be able to say whatever they would think. But the reality is that, gentlemen, that with all of these multiplayer focused games, the real-time strategy genre will never come back to life. And it's sad for me that I grew up playing all of the games from Petroglyph Games, Star Wars Empire at War from 2006, its expansion, which is Forces of Corruption, then Universe at War, Earth Assault, to see that they went down because after Grey Goo, after 2015, they developed 8-bit armies, which, even if it's a good game, it doesn't have the required budget. It's not a AAA real-time strategy game. It's sad for me that This game has excellent artificial intelligence, excellent pathfinding, all of that, but is clearly, sadly, and unfortunately multiplayer focused. It only has 3 mini campaigns composed of 4 missions each, and therefore I cannot recommend a game that is so multiplayer, so evidently multiplayer focused. And of course the multiplayer is dead. Imagine it's 2015, it's mostly dead. And that's the sad illness that this genre has been suffering for so long. As long as game developers focus on multiplayer for the real-time strategy genre, we will never be able to see a revival, a true revival for this genre. And it's sad, it saddens me, you cannot imagine how deep. Now, what was it? Defeat Naiko and capture communications array. Well, apparently we did it. Alright, I need to move a mother. In the meantime, we can destroy those airports, those pesky airports. But as I told you, gentlemen, this is the clear example on why the real-time strategy genre died. Besides the boom of the MOBA genre, which began with the first mod for Warcraft 3, the first Defense of the Ancients, and it's sad. It's so sad. So far, we've seen the Human, the Beta, and the Goo campaign, and we only had 4 missions of each, for each of them. It's so sad. So sad. So I need to capture it. Yet another flaw in game design. Another flaw in game design. This mission is so sad. So sad. It's a clear example on why the real-time strategy genre is sadly dead. Because Petrol Games thought, and I cannot blame them, because they see that Riot Games get a lot of money, that Epic Games, they get a lot of money, and they must have probably thought that by creating a multiplayer game, they could get a lot of money. And that's plain and simply sad. There we go. It's so sad to see one of the companies that I grew up playing to do this.
Contact restored.
Preservation. 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 System at risk. The silence is growing. So must we.
Alright, let's get to the next mission. The Barricade.
The Beta have a device that can affect keyholes. It was released from Dark Space to Ecosystem 9. This aperture device is near their main settlement, where they have constructed a starship they call the Suma.
We require access.
All forces at Saga's Keep and the Suma. My raiders will hold the barricade.
All catalyst must be protected while the humans...
Specialist Ulrich and I are going with Sarup to the Suma. We'll assess their flight tech and see what options we have. Do we have status on Cobalt and Mum?
Mum's core is intact and recoverable. Cobalt is transporting her back now. We'll meet you at the Suma. I'm still unsure what the girl is up to.
They think we are targeting the catalyst supply at the Suma.
They are correct. But first, we must get through the barricade.
Enter battlefield. Let's go. So as you can see, gentlemen, it's sad. It's sad for me to tell you this, but Grey Goo was clearly designed for multiplayer. It's sad. The barricade is both a natural formation and an immense fortress. Located at the rear is the only path to Zaga's keep, the Vita capital, and the Zama, the Vita's great ship. The Zama will have an aperture device nearby which can open keyholes. We need what lies beyond the barricade, I assume. We must fight through. I assume it says what lies beyond the barricade. Alright.
These beta are fortified and well led.
Passage to the aperture device is required. The silence grows. So must we.
The crew has been sighted. You are authorized to fire at will. Do not let that monster get past us.
Build a purger. Alright, I assume this is the final mission. Because we have to create the epic unit. I assume these are those borrowers. The dweller. Sorry, the dweller. Can you get out of there? Yeah, you can. Alright, we have one. One over here. Okay. But we need to find a second resource location. I don't know why I'm under the impression that we're going to suffer another wipe on this mission as well. Oh, there it is. Get over there. Let's do this. Let's split our dwellers. Alright, they automatically hide. Alright, so let's send two here. There we go. Along. And we have a third Mother Goo, so we'll send her over there. We'll send these guys over here, and this over here, this guy over here. So let's... What? God damn it. It's actually the first one. Why did she go over there? Did you see me order her to go over there? I didn't do so. Alright. So, you'll be 2. You'll be 3. And all of you will be 1, so I make sure. There we go. There we go. Okay. This is the last mission, I assume, because when you are allowed during the other 2 campaigns, when we were allowed, oh, they could attack me from that direction. When we were allowed to create the epic unit, in this case, the Purger, we simply, that was the final mission for the campaign. So I think this is the final mission. And it's so poor, so lacking. Only, what was it? 5 missions for the beta campaign, another 4. Then we'll count them. Another 4 for the human campaign, and now another 4 for the goo campaign. It feels like a perpetuous tutorial when it should be the main game mode. It's so sad. So well, we can create the Purger, I assume. Morph Proto Purger. An immediate form between a Mother Goo and a Purger, and unarmed and vulnerable to attacks. Feeding Proteans or Mother Goos to the Proto Purger decreases the build time. Alright. First, let's do a more traditional approach with 2 distractors, then we can toy with the Purger. Don't worry, gentlemen, if we finish Grey Goo, we will begin with... I know, but I will have problems capturing it. I was planning on playing Armies of Exigo, the Beasts campaign. What would happen if I do this then? Proto Purger. What the fuck? It can't move. It must be that beast that we faced during the end of the human campaign. Small protein, dweller, explode, radiance. No. Radiance can now target aircraft. No. Tempest now also deals damage over time to aircraft targets. Well, that one could be useful. Damage over time to aircraft targets. But it's not the most important upgrade. First, AoE damage for the Distractor projectile. And yeah, we'll need a second Mother Goo for that location. Now that this will turn into that thing, the Proto Purger. Look at that, gentlemen. The animation, it's so sad because the animations for these games, units, the gameplay, everything is so good. If only they had focused on the single player campaign. God damn it. Such a waste. Such a waste. Such a waste. No, don't merge with that thing. Yeah, you can merge it so it increases the... It builds faster. But that's not what I want. It makes me sad, gentlemen. It makes me sad. It makes me feel so sad to see so much potential wasted by turning a game into a tutorial campaign. This is the same thing that happened to the Battlefield series. They forgot about the campaign, they forgot about the offline single player experience, and look where they are now. Battlefield 1 sold terribly. I don't know what happened to Battlefield 5, but I'm sure it sold far less, and it was clearly worse than the campaign for Battlefield 3, and of course the best of them, for me personally, is the best, Battlefield Bad Company 2. It has one of the most hilarious and perfectly voiced campaigns that I've seen on any shooter. It's short, not like this, but it's extremely short. But it's so good. The dialogues, the gameplay, of course, the everything. Well, let's merge it. It's the only way to speed up this process, apparently. Proto Purger. How much population do these things consume? 70. Okay. An intermediate form between a Mother Goo and a Purger. Unarmed and vulnerable to attacks, feeding protein. Alright, so this massive beast, it's only vulnerable while morphing. Oh. Morph Mother Goo. Well, 2 Purgers would be... Can I produce one more? No, I can't. 146 leaves me with only 60 population left. So, no. I can't have 2 Purgers. At least not with all of these units to protect me. And I need them to protect me. So, yeah, there's that. Also, I need some defense against air attacks. Perfect. Now let's go for the upgrade. For the Tempest upgrade. And create another Mother Goo, so it can come over here and either feed that beast or... I don't know. Finally. Can this thing move? Yet. My mistake was beginning the morphing on top of the resource. Of the catalyst resource location. The location where we should be extracting the catalyst from. Yeah. That was my worst mistake. So let's feed that thing. There we go. I wonder if in during competitive play of this game back in the day, back in 2015, any pro player or whatever could actually get to use the epic units during a multiplayer match, because the insane amount of time it takes to create these things, yeah, it's not competitive friendly, but well. Which in turn makes me wonder, why did they include these epic units? They are incredible. They are probably the most shocking aspect of the gameplay that this game has. Because it's not Scaman, but so far the only thing I have to complain about this game is the short length of the campaign. Okay. Our work of art is about to be completed. See that during this mission, which is the... I don't know if you've noticed, but if not, I will highlight it. This is the final mission for the Goo campaign, which should be the hardest mission for the game. And nobody at all is attacking us. Gentlemen, see what I mean when I say that a single flaw in game design can ruin the whole campaign. See what I mean? See what I mean? I haven't been attacked at all during the 13 minutes that I've been playing this, which should be the final level. Remember that this should be the final level for the whole campaign. They supposedly the beta campaign and the human campaign have been building up the hype for this moment, and I am not even being attacked. All so I can create the purger and play around with it and showcase it as a tutorial mission for you to then go and try it on multiplayer. It's clearly multiplayer oriented. It's so clearly multiplayer oriented that they use the final mission for each of the campaigns as a tutorial for you to build the epic unit. I don't know you, gentlemen. I know you must be far wiser than I am, and you are forgiving and all of that.
Calculated odds of success increased by 40%.
I know you gentlemen are far more forgiving than I am. Goose Epic Unit uses large appendages to destroy targets at range, consumes enemy objects, increases growth rate of nearby Goo, has aura to reuse. Yeah, I've already seen it in action. This is the bottom of the barrel, gentlemen. I know you are more forgiving, you are wiser than me. You are more forgiving, all of that. I've already repeated myself 3 times. But for me, in my book, this is a sin. Yeah. I'm talking seriously. I'm being serious, gentlemen. This is a sin. This is so harmful for the gaming industry. You cannot imagine how harmful this is. That the best, what should be the most adrenaline-filled, incredible moment, the finale for the Goo campaign, it's nothing but a tutorial for you to then jump on the multiplayer. And the clear proof, the alibi that this system it's impossible to sustain, which is expecting a real-time strategy game to be successful through multiplayer as its main attraction. It's the wrong way. It's a sin, and it's the worst of the worst, the bottom of the barrel, the worst that happened to the gaming industry. This ruins everything. We need critical thinking, gentlemen. We need developers who understand that a good campaign is irreplaceable. It's impossible to replace. 100% impossible to replace. And because of the panderers, and because of the disgusting illiterate gamers that I refer to every fucking night, these things are possible, and they ruin these works of art, which end up with a lot of wasted potential. Because of this. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Sorry, I moved the camera. It's so sad, gentlemen. We need to rise up, claim what's ours, what's rightfully ours, and tell these disgusting panderers who don't care about the health and the ultimate fate of the gaming industry to go away and bother somewhere else, for them to go to the film industry, the the literature industry, whatever, for them to go away and stop bothering the true target audience, the true original intended target audience of video games, which is the fans of single player, the defenders of a good single player story, of a good gameplay system, the people who want a properly developed artificial intelligence, because if not, then this happens. This game is the perfect example of it. The perfect example of it. An excellent game, because the gameplay for this game is excellent. Another thing I must complain about is that the Unix are a bit generic. A bit generic. I am nitpicking, I know. They are a bit generic. But the worst thing of this game is to be so good, to have such an excellent gameplay system, and be 100% multiplayer focused. I cannot believe that Petroglyph Games released this. This is so multiplayer focused. The campaign, it's a tutorial for you to jump into multiplayer, and I can't understand why, because Petroglyph Games, as I've been telling you for the past hour, saw the success of League of Legends and thought, they must have thought, I am deducing, we need multiplayer. We need multiplayer, it's the future, and this resignation is what we should be fighting against, gentlemen. We need to prevent developers from resigning from offline play. They are resigning. They don't want to create good single player campaigns for a real-time strategy genre. I know, and it's true that a lot of other genres stopped. They could stop. The fans for a lot of genres could stop the illiterate gamers and prevent online gaming to take over their favorite genres. But for some reason, we, the fans of the real-time strategy genre, didn't prevent it. I also blame myself partly for it, because I wasn't showcasing all of this on Twitch. But now that I know how dire, another thing is that Twitch didn't exist but back then when this happened, but we have the opportunity, gentlemen. We must prevail, we must not give up, and we must fight against the gaming electorates who are responsible for this game, who are responsible for the fact that this game, isn't single player focused, among a lot of other things that I could waste the whole to be precise, the whole evening talking about it. Yeah, here where I live, it's already the night, actually, but you get the idea. You get the idea, gentlemen. You get the idea. This game, it's a perfect example of why we shouldn't let the illiterate gamers take over the gaming industry and turn reduce everything to rubble, to dust. Hang on a second. I need to check if I didn't move the camera. Alright, there we go. Yeah, you were not looking at me. Because I was doing the leisure gameplay. But you could listen to me. That's the important thing. That's the important thing, gentlemen. That's the important thing, gentlemen. I need to remind myself to... Yeah, you could see me here. You could see me here. But then you couldn't see me here. And since I turned on performance mode, I knew I had forgotten something. But well, now you can see me. There we go. Sorry, because as I told you, I was doing the leisure gameplay this evening, and I forgot to turn on the camera. God damn it. I was so angry with this shit that I forgot to turn on the camera for the stream, for the analysis stream. Well, don't worry. Anyway, you listen to what I had to say, that's the important thing. Yeah, when you turn on performance mode, I cannot see the screen. But if I don't do so,
Don't talk about it, soldier. Shoot at it.
I am pretty sure you remember our friend the Purger from last time, from the finale of the human campaign. From the finale of the human campaign.
Who has breached the first wall?
Oh. Alright. We are at population cap, so there's nothing for me to do. Break through the barricade. Yeah. So, you couldn't see my rant. Sorry. Well, you could listen to my rant, gentlemen, but you couldn't see me personally ranting, so... What's it? Oh, this thing apparently drops small Protheans. Well, show me your attack, come on. There you go. There we go. Look at this. This should be the ending of the campaign. This should be the ending. And instead we get this lame tutorial mission for you to be ready for multiplayer gameplay. This is so disgustingly sad. This is the threat we are facing, gentlemen, as I was telling you. Don't worry if you couldn't see me. This is the threat we are facing, gentlemen. This is the evident threat we're facing. This is what the disgusting and illiterate gamers have caused. People who are objectively unable to realize, to notice that if you only support multiplayer, then this happens. The developers think that it's the future, that it's the only thing that will save them from bankruptcy, and then this happens, and then this happens, and then we come along years after, realizing that they've destroyed our precious and beloved gaming industry. We must stop these panderers at once. You are looking at the consequences right here. These are the consequences. Such an excellent game, excellent gameplay, excellent artificial intelligence. It also has excellent ideas such as this epic unit. that we've been showcasing, but this should be the finale of the game. The final mission for the campaign. It should be extremely difficult, and we weren't attacked once. We weren't attacked once, gentlemen. It's a clear flaw in game design. A clear flaw. And it's not a slight flaw. It's a severe flaw. A big flaw. It's terrible. Terrible. And it pains me to highlight it, because as I told you, I grew up playing petroglyph games, works of art. I will never be able to understand how we ended up like this. How we ended up like this.
Get those walls, man. Watch the cliff line. And mobilize the hands of Rook. All of them.
They give you this.
have detected 2 large energy signatures.
Yeah, imagine 2 epic units. Destroy both hands of Rook. Yeah, 2 hands of Rook. Secure the path forward by destroying the Beta stronghold. Well, I don't know where that may be, but I'll send reinforcements if we need them. Damn it. Well, there we go. We fight some epic units, but we need to focus all power on that thing. And here you have it, gentlemen, the finale, which should be such an epic... What's this? Which should be such an epic fight. Eclipsed, 100% eclipsed, because of multiplayer. So, if there's someone to blame for this game's lack of quality, it's none other than the illiterate gamers themselves directly. The illiterate gamers are 100% responsible for this game's failures. Unfortunately, sadly. So sadly. So sad. But it's sadly the truth. Alright, let's hide here until we get some reinforcements. Oh, we can destroy that in the meantime. While we regroup. And I fully blame the illiterate gamers for this game's failure, because due to the fact that because of them we are left with this multiplayer focused real-time strategy. Remember, this is the final mission, not for the Goo campaign, for all of the campaigns. It's imagine if Legacy of the Void had as ending a mission as lame as this. It's something that I will never be able to understand. The disgusting illiterate gamers are... I blame them for this, and they are sadly responsible. So, when you watch my stream, and may think that there are no consequences, play Fortnite 24 hours a day, just as my description says. Play Fortnite 24 hours a day. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? You telling people what they should be playing? No. I am trying to educate. I'm trying to educate in video games and to also learn, comprehend the true essence of video games. And here I am unveiling the truth, the sad truth of the gaming industry, which a lot of people apparently don't like to look at, which is that due to the fact that we didn't care about telling people to learn to differentiate between a quality product and Fortnite and all of those disgusting scams among us, all of them, we have this. A perfectly crafted gem of the real-time strategy genre with perfect graphics, perfect pathfinding, perfect artificial intelligence, perfect cinematics, perfect presentation, perfect gameplay system, interesting ideas, innovations such as the epic unit. Look at the animation. Look at all of the animation for these units. We are left with a shell, an empty shell, a gem that is sadly useless. An empty shell. So pretty, so beautiful on the outside, but in the inside, on the inside, I don't. Sorry. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. We are left with nothing because the game's campaign is a tutorial for multiplayer. The game's campaign, the 3 campaigns are a tutorial for multiplayer. Nothing more. I've never seen something. This is one of the saddest things I've ever seen in all of my years of gaming. A perfect game ruined by the illiterate gamers 100%. A perfect game ruined by illiterate gamers who probably think that the only use for a real-time strategy game is its multiplayer. Sorry, if you think that you should go back to the Nintendo Entertainment System and go back to the beginning. Go back to square one. You should play the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the first PlayStation, the second PlayStation, the first Xbox. Play all of those consoles. Play all of the old school real-time strategy games. And you will be able to realize that we don't need multiplayer, and if it is included, it should be a secondary feature. It should be a secondary feature of a game. And then come the panderers. The panderers who are responsible for telling the illiterate gamers that they should play Fortnite, they should play Among Us, they should play the other scam, Rust, Valorant, all of them, because their friends played. I cannot imagine a worse mindset than if my friends play Fortnite, I should be a fucking sheep and play Fortnite as well. That's such a weak mindset. You should care about developing a taste, your own taste for video games. Maybe you don't like real-time strategy, maybe you like racing, as I do, for example. Maybe you like hack and slash, maybe you like survival horror, which I hate. Maybe you like another games, another genres. I don't know. RPG, isometric action RPG, classic RPG, on-rails shooter, simulation space shooters, space simulation nowadays it's called, such as Freelancer, the X series from Egosoft. I don't know. You have a tower defense. Well, that's real-time strategy. Tower defense, real-time tactics, 3D platforming, 2D platforming, but no. The weak-minded idiots, the morons, tell you, all of your friends play Fortnite. Go play Fortnite. Go play Fortnite since all of your friends do so. And on top of that, the panderers, the disgusting illiterate panderers, which a lot of them are streamers, the internet personalities, the so-called experts, this bunch of illiterates, of uneducated morons, they tell you, go play Fortnite. If your friends play Fortnite, go play Fortnite. Go play Among Us, go play whatever your friends play. That's such a weak mindset. So my message is, develop your own taste. So this, what you are witnessing right now, before your eyes, doesn't happen. A dead genre, and we, the historians, the people that come after the war has ended, look at the casualties. This is a casualty of war. This game is a casualty of war. It's a sad casualty of war. It's a sad casualty. A sad casualty of the panderers. That sadly... Oh, wait. They killed them. Alright. Then I have a better idea. Now we're, anyway, almost out of resources here. I've got a better idea. Alright, there goes the hand of Luke. Wait, I shouldn't have sacrificed all of those units. Well, I can't load. I don't know why. Well, doesn't matter. Let's morph this into a second proto-purger, shall we? What? Why can't I do so? Oh, it can only morph on. So it needs to be on top of those things. Oh, well, look at that. I can still produce some units. This game is a casualty of the illiterate, of the uneducated gamers, who must have been responsible for telling Petrolis Games, or at least making them think that multiplayer is the way to go. You go the multiplayer way, you will be millionaire. You'll become a millionaire by going the multiplayer way. But I mean, there's a second hand of Rook. Go the multiplayer way, you'll do great. This game is a clear casualty of the illiterate gamers, of the uneducated morons that tell game companies that they should go fully multiplayer for their games. A clear casualty of war. Alright, let's create more. Some mother goose to feed that thing, so it grows faster. See, gentlemen, this should be the finale. This should be the finale. I never expected Petrol Leaf Games to bring to make this game so multiplayer focused. I will still recommend Star Wars Empire at War, its expansion, Forces of Corruption, and Universe at War, of course. But I simply cannot. I would never recommend a game that is so multiplayer. Look at this. See how lame this is. See how lame this is. This is the the finale for the campaign, gentlemen. Look at this. This is even worse than Loria. This is even worse than Loria's finale, and that's nothing short of impressive. There goes a missile. Let's see the war of the titans of the two epic units.
We've destroyed their heavy firepower.
Yeah, let's destroy the rest of their base. This should be... We weren't attacked once. We weren't attacked once during this mission. It's so sad. You'll get to see the distraction. Don't worry. It's so... Don't worry, you'll get to see the distraction. I know. It's so sad, gentlemen, that masters of the genre were forced, because I am sure they thought that the solution to all of their financial problems was to create a multiplayer focused RTS games. And that's not the case. StarCraft 1 Brood War, of course it had a big zine of multiplayer focused community. It had a big multiplayer focused community in South Korea, but the campaign which made StarCraft 1 the timeless classic that it is was its exceptionally written full of adrenaline, exciting campaign. Not its multiplayer. It's multiplayer, it's great, it's excellent for the esports players and all of that, but for us, the normal gamers, the people who will support or not the game, that's not the main attraction. It should never be the main attraction. The main attraction should always be the main campaign, and I cannot recommend any game which doesn't support those principles of caring about single player and caring about creating an excellent single player campaign. Alright, once the second Proto Purger is finished, we will send it over there to the northern part of the map and finish this. I think I will not be streaming the DLC campaign. Maybe we'll do it as leisure gameplay without a camera or something like that. But yeah, I had to stop playing Armies of Exigo because of the fact that the campaign was so extremely long and I had problems with the mod and I couldn't stream it at 1080p. But the game had 36 missions with a lot of interludes in between, with a lot of objective variety, and the only problem I found, the worst problem that game had, if you remember correctly, that stream, you also can check out the VOD on YouTube, was the ending. The ending. The ending. The last mission for the Fallen campaign, the second campaign, which had a lot of interesting ideas, a lot of interesting moments, but ultimately the final level for that campaign was... I don't know why all of the units got stuck, the AI didn't react, they didn't create buildings, and it was simply dull. 100% dull and uninteresting. So no, so far I haven't been able to find any game which comes close to StarCraft 2 and Warcraft 3 and of course Age of Empires 2 levels of quality. But a lot of this has to do, in the case of Grey Goo, this has to do, as I told you, with the disgusting, uneducated, and illiterate gamers. People who are objectively unable to tell the difference between a properly developed game and a pile of crap such as Fortnite, Among Us, and the rest of the bunch of corrupt, evil, and disgusting enemies of the gaming industry, alongside the pandas, of course. This game could have been excellent if only it hadn't listened, because I'm sure they listened, to the pandas and the disgusting illiterates, that they should be going for a multiplayer experience only, that multiplayer was the future, and what's going on with that thing? It's not growing. Alright, because we depleted the source of that thing. Well, but it also doesn't move. God damn it. Well, fuck it. Fuck it. We'll go with only one purger. One purger should be more than enough. Well, I'll try to feed it with more Mother Goose. Oh. Look at that. They did the artificial intelligence. Is this on easy difficulty? I'm pretty sure I selected hard difficulty. I am pretty sure I selected hard difficulty. Then I will check it out. I assume I must have selected easy difficulty, because there's no way this is so easy. I'll tell you what. Before we finish, I'll check out the bot, gentlemen. I'll check out the bot because I need to be sure that this is hard difficulty. Let me check out the bot. Give me a second. Because I'm about to bash this thing. And I need to be sure that I selected hard difficulty. There we go. Minute 57 and 59 seconds of the stream. I selected hard difficult for the barricade, which is the last mission. Sorry, I needed to make sure. Because this looks like easy difficulty. I can't believe it. I simply can't believe it. It's a tutorial for the multiplayer. Sorry. We should continue. Let's continue. There we go. 5,000. There it is. The second proto purger. Second purger. And there it goes. Such a disaster. So sad. So much wasted potential. Such wasted potential. Such wasted potential for the illiterates to enjoy. To turn this work of art into mostly a multiplayer only game. It's so sad. This game could have been a work of art, but God, I had to manually check if this was on easy difficulty, but you can see it. Minute 57, second 59 of today's stream. It's hard difficulty. I cannot believe it. I can't believe it. What were they thinking? And as you can see, gentlemen, this way a perfect game is reduced to nothing else than, as we usually see in the Total War games, a footnote in the history books. A footnote in the history books. A footnote in the history book. A footnote in the history books. They probably thought that nobody would even get to the ending of the third campaign. So sad. So sad. Secure the path by destroying the Beta stronghold. Well, I destroyed it. It was this one. The fortress is the second obstacle. Destroy all Beta forces in the area to secure our passage to the aperture device we need. Well, we should destroy that, just in case. Over here. And morph into more distractions. Gentlemen, sorry that I didn't expect this to end up like this. I never expected... Oh, there they are. There's more of them over there. Sorry gentlemen for this, I didn't expect this. The game is great, it has excellent gameplay, but it's only useful for skirmish matches against the AI. It goes against my principles to recommend a game that is so focused on multiplayer. That is so multiplayer focused. I cannot do so. It goes against my principles. So I cannot recommend it. Regardless of the qualification, I may give it due to the gameplay. I need to be objective. Because of the gameplay, because of the presentation and everything the game has, but I cannot recommend a game that is multiplayer focused. It goes against the very existence of my Twitch channel. And that's sad. So sad. Alright, let's... Oh. Well, let's move the two epic... Tell me, what were they thinking when they thought this would be fun? No, I know what they were thinking. They thought nobody's going to play all the way up to the third campaign. Nobody. And if they do, they'll simply use it as a tutorial. So then they can go ahead and play multiplayer all day. See the damage, gentlemen. I'm sure that's what they thought when they were developing this game. I can clearly see it. They thought nobody's going to get to the third campaign, and certainly nobody's going to even care about the single player part of the game. But as you can see, my code of conduct, the way I analyze games, I play them till the end before I judge them. So let's clear the map. Let's clear the map. Let's clear the map, and then we'll get to the final analysis. And then we'll get to the final analysis. Sorry, gentlemen, that if you see me angry or annoyed by this game, but it's the nature of the experience. It's the raw experience you get. And it's important because a lot of fake internet personalities think that they should act as hypocrites and then encourage people to act as they do. And I think that's dirty. Tacky. Vulgar. Alright. I tell you my honest thoughts. I thought it was a gem, and it clearly isn't, for multiplayer at least. If you love doing skirmishes against the artificial intelligence, this is for you. I knew a friend in real life that, yeah, he loved playing skirmishes against the AI, and it's absolutely respectable. Of course, multiplayer all day isn't respectable. That will never be respectable. Don't worry. Playing multiplayer all day long will never be respectable. That's for sure. That will never be respectable. But playing against the artificial intelligence for your skirmish matches, it's something a lot of people did back in the early 2000s. The true gamers did back in the early 2000s. We loved our skirmish matches. There they are, the headquarters. We loved it, and this is sad. All right, let's save, and this is the end, I think. Remember, gentlemen, today, instead of finishing the stream, well, fortunately, this prolonged for more time than I could expect. We'll get to the final analysis. Then, after we finish, we'll get to the final analysis, and then we will proceed to the intermission, and then we'll get to the leisure gameplay. Remember, the leisure gameplay, it's me playing without any kind of commentary, anything at all. I don't analyze, so in case you find my analysis annoying, there you have raw gameplay without comments. So there's that. I'll also indicate it in the title description. As for what's next,
It is up to you, Saruk.
I've already
Clear. We can reach the aperture device. The beta and the humans will be waiting.
Okay, let's see. The finale, gentlemen. What? Well, let's see. Apparently it was a 1v3. I don't know. Maybe it's not the final mission.
You have to pull your forces back.
Singleton?
We must have access to the aperture device.
We? We need to destroy the goo before it's too late.
There is a greater threat.
How is that possible?
A shroud of silence is spreading across the galaxy. It must be stopped, or all life will perish.
I don't know what you are, or how you came to be. But the goo has been nothing but a destructive plague and must be eliminated. If you are Singleton, you should know better than anyone. I will die before giving that monster any chance of reaching Earth.
I understand.
Well, look at that. It wasn't the
Forces
finale.
focused at the aperture device. The goo is continuing to evolve and it's trying to escape the planet. There is no predicting what would happen if it did. This battle is bigger than all of us.
Anai mut hinditsu. Tifiraki mapsa ilusitak.
We must succeed.
Proceeding to aperture device.
Alright, you can see it's hard difficulty. Well, so for the Goo campaign, the mission in which you have the epic unit at your disposal isn't the finale, so let's see here. Alright, so it wasn't the finale, after all. The off-world Goo is ready to join together, but it needs a path. Near the Zama, it's a working aperture device. Using it, we can open keyholes to all known Goo locations and pull them through. Once together, the Goo will survive, the Goo will expand, the Goo will face the growing silence. Okay. Okay.
It has come to this. They could be allies against the silence. This is a waste.
Irrelevant. We must be one. We must expand. We must protect.
Tak, our sensors have spotted Goo to the south.
This is it then. Notify Saruk.
Roger that. I'll brief the Alpha pilots.
We are ready. We must not let it pass. I don't think it realizes what might happen if it opens a keyhole here.
Or maybe it does. Singleton?
First of all, I don't know if you noticed. This map is a recycle, more or less. It's a recycled version of one of the maps we played. Check out the bots and you'll realize. But well, at least apparently we'll get a more decent finale for this game, apparently. So let's see. Ooh. Oh no, I can't get over there. Well, let's turn this then into a purger, shall we? Since let's hide that mother Goo over here. This one over here.
That is a control mode for the aperture device.
There
We
we go.
must find and hold them all at the same time, or we can't gain full access.
Alright, so we need to hold the three of them. Alright. Well, this is a more respectable outcome, but still, you saw me, I selected hard difficulty. And anyway, the fact remains that the campaign is short, but at least it didn't get the lame finale that we were looking at back there during the last mission. We need to be critics, gentlemen. If we are not, the game industry will continue supporting the scams of Fortnite, Among Us, and the rest of the multiplayer crap. So, should we go for the Proto Purger? Oh no, wait. We should go for the tech upgrade first. Let's go. 1 research point. Boost splash. To improve the destructors. Right, we shouldn't be attacking this. We should be simply stay near it. Oh. There we go. Find and hold all 3 aperture control nodes. Right, that's 1. We'll leave it for now. We only have 2 resource locations. Which are those? No. Second tech upgrade for the anti-air units. Where was it? No. This one. The Tempest Goo now also deals damage over time to aircraft targets. And the last one, last but not least, the corrosive pool for the... There we go. Now, what should we do with that mother goo? Of course, get over here. Let's get her over here. The thing should come over here. As well as this one. Oh no, wait, we'll keep that one. Because we'll send it here once we are done. Oh, at least the game tried to redeem itself with this final mission. Of course, then you have the DLC campaign, which evidently refers to that 4th race that I've been mentioning. And that probably contains some 4 or 5 more missions. At least if it doesn't, that's the idea. Yeah, that's the only idea you could get by playing the main campaign. So you can imagine that. Alright, let's turn that thing into a proto-purger. A proto-purger. Shall we? First proto-purger. And we'll also turn this thing into a proto-purger eventually. So we have... yeah. Oh no, we don't have enough population to create a second proto-purger, so... large protean... structure... then we need to hold all those things, right? And that last one. Yeah, it's not a great idea to simply create proto-purgers for this mission, because you have to distribute your forces, so there's that. Now, then let's head over there. Let's head over there and take the last location. Oh. So sad that the game ended up like this. Turned out to be like this. But if we are not critic, gentlemen, there's no hope for gaming. There's no hope for the gaming industry. If we aren't critics, if we don't learn Well, there's nothing here. Oh, well, look at that. So I have 4. Alright, I can send all of the troops over there. No, this one over here, this one over here. This map seems to be pretty symmetrical, so we'll leave this over here and this over here. Alright. There we go. The first proto purger is being created, so we simply need to create 2 mother goose to hold those 2 nodes, or we can simply go for the bonus objective and easy access from the west. Once the aperture device is under our control, we must activate it with the mother goo. Destroying Saruk's base would burn us. Well, of course, Lucy the same. Alright, so we need to destroy them all. Destroy all of the bases. Here's the proto purger. Let's create large protean, second large protean, third large protean. We should concentrate our efforts over there, because that location it's easy to access. There we go. Well, anyway, we are going to destroy all of their bases, so yeah. Again, sorry gentlemen that this turned out to be a flop, but I need to complete at least the campaign in order to judge the game. Of course I will play it for skirmish matches against the AI and all of that offline, sorry, but I will never be able to understand how they could make so many mistakes. The campaign is way too short. Way too short. The finale. See that we are not being attacked. Also here we are not being attacked. Again, we are not being attacked. At all. We are not being attacked at all. Maybe we'll be attacked later. Alright. I don't know. Let's have some faith, I guess. But I can't understand how Petroglyph Games could release this. It's so multiplayer focused. Well, I'll stop my rant, gentlemen. You must be tired of listening to my rant. I'll simply shut up and play. It's just that it's sad that the RTS genre suffers because of these mistakes. Just that. Now let's see. Let's feed the Proto Purger. Let's feed that Purger. We got another Mother Goo. Right here. So much wasted potential. This could have been such an epic game. Such an epic game. So much wasted potential. So much wasted potential. Send another Mother Goo over there. And there we go. Here comes the Proto Purger. So, we'll simply destroy both of their bases and then we will go for the objective. Then we go. We'll have one Mother Goo ready to take control of that thing. A second Mother Goo to take control of that thing. And a third Mother Goo to take control of the eastern node. There we go. Let's save. Alright, we need to take care of that, but first destroy their bases. So let's do so. As soon as you can attack. What's this? Ah, I have to go over there. Oh, look at that! I had my. Oh, damn it! What? Why are you going back? Over there. Get over here.
We have command of the first control node. We need all three.
Oh.
All forces, converge on their control node. We cannot allow the goo to gain access.
The second node is ours.
Everyone, aid the beta in retaking those nodes.
Wait, but the humans are going to. Yeah. Let's get rid of them. First. Where's the... Well, what are you doing? Get over there and help destroy their base. Big deal. Big deal. We should be able... Well, two predators. That could be a problem. Alright, get rid of their base. And you go straight for the core. When you are more worried about these idiots here in... There we go. That's boring. Let's get to the action. Come on. Goodbye, betas.
Do not harm Commander Tak. She is key to our success.
Well. Uh-huh. Well, let's send the Purger to the human base then. Goodbye, human base. Goodbye, beta base. Sorry. And yeah, they also took that position. So let's first clean up this location, and then yeah. There we go. Send another Goo over here. I highly doubt they will be able to. Alright, they could be. We'll leave behind these four guys. One. We'll leave these guys defending that position. And now all of you will defend this one. Take care of the control node, and you will destroy the human base.
All of the nodes are ours. We need to maintain control until the aperture device activates.
And the rest of the troops will be sent to support the Purger. Oh. Damn, this mission was lame. Oh. I stand by what I said last time, during the last mission. Lame. How could they do this? This is a tutorial for multiplayer. Come on. Go ahead and help the Purger. Not that it needs any help at all right now. We'll leave some guys behind. The rest of you come with me so I can... Oh. What? Well, that was a cheap way. That was a cheap way of preventing me from winning. But don't worry. Oh, they are also attacking over here. That was cheap. But don't worry. We'll get rid. Defeat Saruk. I already did it. Oh, this was Saruk's base. What are you doing? Yeah. Alright. Should I go for another Proto-Purger? No, I will not be able to defend those locations properly if I do so. Oh, right. The Predator. Okay. Right. Nothing here. So let's spread these guys. Oh wait.
Do not harm Erazowr. We will need him when the silence comes.
Yeah, we all can see that you are teasing us for the... That you are teasing us for the next campaign. A cheap tease. Couldn't they come up with something better than this mission? I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm so astonished. I am so astonished. Come on, get rid of them. Alright, we need to move a mother goo over there. Again.
Unit under attack.
Very good. Very, very good.
Unit under attack.
Let's send the mother goo over there. Let's send the mother goo over here. Hand of Rook ready, what's that? God damn it. But I destroyed them. Okay. Let's move the... No. Let's move the Purger to the central node. And then let's move this over here. No, over here. Over here. And the rest will go over here. And the rest of my units will go over there. There we go. Alright, we have the 3 mother goose. So we are at the ready. So they have a hand of Rook. Yeah. As if that could stop us. Come on. Okay. First control group. Second control group. Not that it needs anything else. Stay there. But wait, if they attack this location with more troops, well, they'll need some. Just in case, we'll send. Because if they get way too close to the Purger, it can defend, even though it has a lot of special abilities. But it will not be able to defend in close range. So and also it doesn't have it can defend against air units. Go, Arch Prothean, nothing, come on. Over there. Large Prothean, there we go. Anyway, we'll provide support if the Purger isn't capable of destroying the enemy by itself, we'll provide some backup. Here we'll send all of these guys over there. And we'll provide the western node with some more distractors. Okay. Okay. Let's save one last time. And then we'll proceed to the final section of the campaign. And then we'll get to the analysis, gentlemen, and then we'll get to the intermission. Oh, I forgot about this one. There we go. There we go. 1, 2, and 3.
All of the nodes are ours. We need to maintain control until the aperture device activates.
Alright. Alright, we simply need to hold for 5 minutes. There they are. Oh, what? They're attacking us. Come on. Attacking us from that stupid direction. Come on. That's so cheap. Not that it will help you at all, but let's try again. Let's try again then.
All of the nodes are ours.
Yeah.
We need to maintain control until
All of the
aperture
nodes are
device
ours.
activates.
That was annoying. Not difficult. Annoying. And they need to learn the difference. Alright, they destroyed the guy over there. Yeah. They simply spawn some units. So this is the brilliant idea, to spawn some random units. God damn it. Such a terrible idea. To spawn some random units to control those things. You know, it's, God damn it. Oh wait, what's this? You should be over there. I love how they glow. Alright, there they are. So they always come from the same direction, I assume. Yeah, nice try. Uh-huh. Where? Oh. Now that's... No. God damn it.
All of the nodes are ours. We need to maintain control until the aperture device activates.
We did it. There's reinforced here.
God damn it. This is such a cheap way of extending the final mission. Right. I don't know why this doesn't load, gentlemen. How can I go back to the main menu and see if I can load this? Oh wait, it says the grow though, which isn't this. Well, guess we'll have to continue. And continue with this stupid mission. So stupid. It's so stupid. I can't believe it. It's so lame. Let's go for another proto purger then. Two proto purgers then. Two proto purgers. And you will be assigned to this location. You will be assigned to this location. So we have one hand of rook and one hold ground. Yeah. This is so lame that if you just position some units over here, you can slowly destroy their two epic units. And in fact, I'll save us some time and actually destroy them with these units, because once they get close enough to them, they shouldn't be able to attack and destroy our units. So let's simply spread these guys. We'll simply spread. Yeah, the problem is the human unit that, well, we'll have to wait for the two purgers. I can't believe they force you to wait for two proto purgers to complete. No. We'll wait, gentlemen, we'll wait. I have all night. We'll wait. But you can imagine that. Well, I have an idea. While the proto purgers finish, let's get to the final analysis. They will take a while. They are not attacking. So let's see. 2500. Let me check out something. While the purgers finish, 2500, right? Alright, almost 2600. Alright. While the two purgers finish up, let's get to the analysis for this game. So we save up some time. I save both your time, mine, and then we can get to more important things. Gentlemen, let's get to the final analysis for Grey Goo. There's nothing left for the campaign. This is the final mission. I finished the 3 campaigns apparently. Well, let's get to it. Gameplay. Let's get to the first category of the analysis. The gameplay is the strongest part that this game has. As I always tell you, it's the strongest point. Sorry, I need to charge the mouse. Give me a second here. There we go. The gameplay is the strongest part of Grey Goo. It's the last. Remember, Grey Goo. It's the last AAA game that Petroglyph Games has developed. After this game, as you saw me explain during a lot of this week's streams, it was the last AAA game that Petroglyph Games did. After this, they did 8-bit armies. Previously to Grey Goo, they had developed Star Wars Empire at War, as well as its expansion, Forces of Corruption, that I've mentioned so many times. Then Universe at War, Earth Assault, and I must beforehand explain you the situation that afflicts this game, the illness that afflicts this game. Sadly, the illness that afflicts this Grey Goo. Grey Goo, it's an excellent game. It has excellent gameplay mechanics, excellent pathfinding, excellent graphics, excellent artificial intelligence, excellent presentation, an excellent execution of its mechanics. The gameplay, I don't think it's balanced at all. The beta race, I think it's weaker than the humans and the Goo. I fear that the fact that you can create the epic unit, the Purger for the Goo, so fast when compared to the other two, it's an outrageous advantage. But let's get to the illness that afflicts this game, that afflicts Grey Goo. The campaign for this game, as you saw me repeat and repeat endlessly for the last hour, the campaign, it's a tutorial for the multiplayer. This game, it's evidence, as I said during the finale, this last hour or so. This game, it's the product, the final product of the electorate gamers. This game, it's a casualty of the tendencies, the evil tendencies that the game industry has been showing to us. Online only, multiplayer focused games, games as services, and let me tell you that they failed in the past to do so, and they will fail again. They will fail again. They will fail again because the soul, the main attraction for games should be single player. Alright. So this game, it's afflicted by that. It has only 20 missions. Let's say 20 missions, more or less, even less maybe. 18 missions, 17 missions to be precise, something along those lines. The 3 campaigns are composed of 6 missions, 5 missions each, and you have the 3 races. So that's such a weak point, and I'll assign it to the level design category for the analysis. It's such a sin, a wasted opportunity, such wasted potential. It makes me sad to say this, but the level design, it's horrible, because even if you have objective variety for the campaign, even if you have different units, even if you have the best gameplay on the world, you can have the best gameplay on the world, but you can't simply make a game with only 17, 18 missions for the campaign, and remember that at least 3 or 4 of those 17 missions are 100% tutorial missions. The first mission for the beta, for the Goo, and for the human campaign are 100% tutorial missions, so you are left with even less. Maybe 13, 40 missions, and I'm being generous. I think there's far less gameplay content for Grey Goo than what I'm telling you. The gameplay is excellent. Regarding the technical aspect of the analysis, you saw it. The game engine isn't properly polished and created. I don't know why. There it is. The Purger finished. One of them finished. The level. There's the second one. So there we go. Now let's move them. Anyway, they are so slow that it will take a lot of time to get over there and finish them off. Once we are ready, I'll tell you. The technical category of the analysis regarding it, the frame rate is unstable. Not even with a beefy GPU and this beefy CPU, I could achieve stable 144 refresh rate, which is my monitor's refresh rate. It may be due to the stream, I guess. The game could use that as an excuse, but there's no excuse for the... I don't know how to explain it. The camera panning movements aren't smooth. They aren't smooth. I don't know why you can't reduce the camera panning more than 50%. I know that for professionals of the real-time strategy genre, the ideal situation is to turn it to maximum so you can have fast movements for the camera, but there's something wrong with the camera panning. It's not smooth. The camera panning movement isn't smooth. It doesn't achieve the desired frame rate, and I blame that to the game engine. Unoptimized, that's for sure. Alright. But it can be played at 1440p, 4K, it has unlocked resolution. So, there's that. Gameplay, The gameplay is excellent, you could all see it. Smooth pathfinding, smooth artificial intelligence. I don't think the races are balanced. But the gameplay is smooth. Also, the frame rate drops not because of your GPU or your CPU, but because of the game engine. Because I've noticed that when there are a lot of units on screen, the frame rate drops even with, again, a beefy GPU way above what should be asked for if you are trying to run this game. Way more powerful than what this game could ever hope to drop frame rates for, to make it drop frame rates. It's, trust me. So it's not technically polished. The level design is the weakest part, as I told you. It has objective variety, but that's useless if you don't have a long campaign, which, even so, it's cohesively developed. It has a cohesively developed plot regarding the grandeur category of the analysis. But the problem is that we don't get any background on the characters. I mentioned this previously. We don't get any background on Singleton, on Lucitak, on Saruk. Nothing at all. We are presented with a lot of characters, and we are expected to simply form a bond with them, to have empathy for them, and that's a clear narrative mistake from my point of view. Why? Because when Singleton sacrifices, in this case, he joins the Goo, and then turns into their dad or their commander or something like that. Something along those lines. Imagine Kerrigan with this area, the same situation. For those of you who haven't watched the whole series of streams. But yeah, the game developers can't expect me to feel empathy for the sacrifice of a character when they didn't develop the so much needed background for that character. We know nothing about Singleton, and therefore it's extremely difficult for me to feel empathy for him when he sacrificed, because I have no background as a character, and that's essential for the plot. Alright. Regarding the last category of the analysis, and then I will get to a conclusion I wanted to do, which is, as you all probably know, extremely tied with what we've been talking about for the last hour or so. Innovation. The epic units are not an invention of this game, but they are extremely well executed. Their animations, their movements, all of that is perfectly executed. But the sad part of this game, and that's the conclusion of the analysis, is that this game is a prey of modern gaming times. What am I trying to say? This game could have had a perfect, long, and polished campaign, but instead, Petrolleaf Games, unfortunately, used this campaign as a tutorial for multiplayer, and that simply shouldn't be allowed. To use a campaign as an excuse to introduce players to DLC and multiplayer. Such a wasted potential. It's so sad, and as I said, I've been mentioning for the past hour, a missed opportunity, and it's actually harming the real-time strategy genre. So, as a conclusion, from F to S, I will award the game an A-, and that's far lower than I was expecting when I began playing this game. You could see it for the last week. We explored the pathfinding, the artificial intelligence, all of the design choices that the developers could do, and it's simply sad. And I'm telling you this as a fan. As someone who grew up playing Star Wars Empire at War, its expansion Forces of Corruption, as well as Universe at War, Earth Assault. All of the previous games developed by Petroglyph. But this game, it's a prey, as I told you, a victim of modern gaming times. Now, gentlemen, let's get to the finale, now that we've waited for 1 hour for those epic units to finish. But there you had it, the final analysis for Grey Goo. It's sad, but it's the truth. I need to be fair, and I need to assess the game for what it is. Now, let's go for the final confrontation. After, you can see, 58 minutes. The battle of the epic units. And this should be the finale for Grey Goo. So let's distribute our Purgers here and here, so we can get rid of the Hand of Rook. And then we have to hold for 5 minutes each of the 3 nodes. Let's send the... We need to send 1 Mother Goo to each of the locations. And then... it should be the finale. As I've been highlighting, the finale, which should be the most exciting moment for this game, for any real-time strategy game, it's lame. Simply, we didn't get attacked, we weren't pressured at all. They simply sent those 2 epic units to stop us after 10 minutes, so we had to start again. So as you can see, gentlemen, I went through the process of waiting for the finale and waiting and waiting. I didn't want to judge the game before I finished it. But as you can see, this is exactly what happens when the whole gaming industry turns into a multiplayer bunch of addicts. A bunch of multiplayer addicts. Petroglyph Games was probably, I'm deducing, influenced by the early times of League of Legends. 2009, this game was developed in 2015. There we have the Adam and the Goo, and probably now we just have to hold out for 5 minutes. They were clearly influenced, and now we are left with this. A campaign which acts as a tutorial for multiplayer. This is simply unacceptable, and I love Petroglyph Games, I love that company, I grew up playing their games, but I need to be fair. I'll award the qualification because the pathfinding, the gameplay, everything is smooth, but using your campaign as a tutorial for multiplayer, it's simply unacceptable, gentlemen. So, therefore, I must tell you that Armies of Exigo is the best underrated recommendation so far, by a long shot. So, let's get to the ending, after all. Alright, we simply need to protect this node, since the other 2 are protected by the 2 Purgers, so there's that. We weren't attacked once. We weren't attacked once during the final mission for the campaign. That should be a crime. I can't imagine how Petroglyph Games thought that multiplayer could save this game. Developers need to understand that multiplayer shouldn't be the main attraction for your game. So, you saw that I boasted a lot about Petroglyph Games, that I loved them, that we read the whole history for them, but it would be unfair, even if I love Petroglyph Games, I grew up playing Star Wars Empire War, to award it the highest qualification, the S, that is still reserved for StarCraft 2, Warcraft 3, and Age of Empires 2, which are clearly the kings of the real-time strategy genre. So far, no game comes close to them. No game comes close to them. No game comes close to them. The most refreshing idea that this game had were these epic units, and I still think that the Goo and the human races are extremely overpowered for multiplayer, so... Oh, we forgot to send... I need to send the third Mother Goo. There we go. And now we just have to hold for 5 minutes. This is simply unacceptable. A clear example of what not to do as a game developer. What you shouldn't be doing as a game developer. Turning the campaign into a tutorial for the multiplayer. It happened to Battlefield, it happened to Call of Duty, it happened to a lot of franchises, and we shouldn't allow it. Because of this, the real-time strategy genre, it's on the brink of destruction, and nobody cares about it, gentlemen. Nobody cares about it. Because of these mistakes, and developers should be trying to fix them instead of repeating them. After this game, as we've been reviewing, Petroglyph Games created 8-bit armies. Yeah, there we go, for one last time. They went on to develop 8-bit armies, which didn't have the budget that this game had. It's an excellent game, 8-bit armies, it's an excellent game, but it's an indie game. That's impossible to deny. And it's sad that this, which is the swan song for Petroglyph Games, which were an excellent company, there they are, that this is the swan song for them, that it was ruined by multiplayer. Alright, there we go. Let's get rid of them. It's so tough for me to tell you this, gentlemen, but Petroglyph Games, they simply... I can't imagine how they thought that they could save this game by doing a multiplayer, by using the campaign as an introduction to multiplayer. Such a flaw. Oh, what happened? Alright. They went straight for the Mother Goo. Alright, then let's... Oh, wait. Yeah, this should go over here. And then let's send this over here. It's sad. It's truly sad and personally tough for me to tell you this, gentlemen, but Grey Goo, it's a clear example of a victim of the modern age of gaming, unfortunately, in which the campaign serves as an introduction for multiplayer. It's sad. And the other game that they developed, the other two games that they developed before 8-bit Army, after 8-bit Armies, are Forged Battalion and Conan Unconquered. Both of them indie as well, and with the same premise, the same idea of using the campaign as a multiplayer. So, I'm telling you all of this because during the week, I've been commenting, you followers been commenting me this, that the that it was such an underrated game. I praised it, but in the end, each race had 4 missions, and we had this full campaign composed of what? 12 missions, 13 missions, and even on the highest difficulty, we weren't attacked. We weren't attacked at all. I could develop my base without any kind of trouble, and it would be unfair to award the game the highest qualification, even if I love Petroglyph games. So take it as such a honest, fun review, because I grew up playing Petroglyph games, works of art, and this, which should be their swan song, their best work of art, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. The multiplayer is dead now. Now the multiplayer is dead. That's the problem. Now the multiplayer is dead, and we are left with nothing. And we are left with nothing. This is the problem. 6 years later, after the release of the game, we are left with nothing. This is what happens when you simply try to go for multiplayer only games. This is what happens. We are left with this. StarCraft 1 was so praised not only for its multiplayer, which was big, especially in South Korea, as we all know, but the campaign was also excellent. The character development. This game forgot about the background of the characters. When Singleton sacrificed, they asked the player to feel empathy for a character that we know nothing about when he sacrificed. We had no background, anything at all. And so, you can't ask for the player to feel empathy after not giving any background at all for your characters. That's not caring about your work. It's certainly rough for me to tell you this, but I can't recommend Grey Goo at all. Even if... Well, there we go again. There we go again. There we go again. Let's send some troops there then. It's so terrible for the gaming industry to end up like this. Full of multiplayer that then it's wasted. So much. Such a waste. That's the thing. It's such a waste. Imagine, this is the final level. This is the final level, and we are simply waiting and waiting and waiting. But it's the only way to be fair. It's the only way to be fair and to analyze the games properly. Play them till the end, and then, as you could see, I went for the final analysis. And I will simply end the mission no matter how long it takes for it to end. Excellent ideas, but poor execution. Poor execution. Such a poor execution. Fortunately, previously, we could recommend you The Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring, and Armies of Exegol, which both of them have longer campaigns. Even if I also criticize The Lord of the Rings, War of the Ring, because it didn't have a cohesively developed campaign. Something which this game had, because missions were connected. Missions were connected. The missions were connected. There was a cohesively developed storyline, but it was way too short. It was way too short. And this game, it's a sad result of modern tendencies for the gaming industry. Well, but at least I was fair. I played it up until the end before judging it. So you could see, gentlemen, only the final mission remains, which is, as you can see, lame. It's sad. It's sad. It's sad. This game is a consequence of what we've been going on about for so much time, for all of these months. We saw it in Armies of Exego, but we saw it in Loria. I can also remember how good the campaign for this game reminds me, you know what, of Battlefield Bad Company 2. It had such a hilarious, perfectly developed campaign, Battlefield 3 as well, and then Battlefield 4, it was, I don't know if any of you played it, the campaign was, first of all, unrealistic. First of all, unrealistic because with some bomb charges at some point close to the end, I don't want to do spoilers, 3 people take out a whole Russian army and they destroy a whole dam with 2 or 3 charges of explosives. Now, I may be an ignorant, of course, regarding all of that, but it was so unrealistic. And the gameplay was so much worse than Battlefield 3. The storyline was so much worse than Battlefield 3, and Battlefield Bad Company 2 was so much better than that pile of crap. Well, these are the consequences that I tell you every night, gentlemen. Grey Goo is a consequence of what I tell you every night. The illiterate gamers, the uneducated, people who don't respect and who are sadly, objectively unable to tell the difference between a properly developed game and a pile of crap. Because they don't care, because they have no interest in learning. They don't care if the developer had to create their own game engine, create their own, polish the artificial intelligence, work on the pathfinding, and then those are the same people who then will tell you that you shouldn't be bashing Fortnite all day as you do. You shouldn't be bashing Among Us all day as you do. No, wrong. We need to learn. We need to learn that when something is wrong and when it's properly developed. When it is a pile of crap and when it is not. See, I love Petrovic games. I love all of their works. This is their swan song, and I am honestly telling you that they used the campaign as a tutorial for multiplayer. For me, it's extremely painful, but I need to do so. And the panders, the people who tell us what we should be playing, because trust me that there are a lot of them. Just take a quick look at Metacritic and the gaming press, and they will tell you that those popular games are the best. So, with those people telling us what we should be playing, the only fair thing to do is to show them the reality. That Grey Goo was ruined because of those tendencies. Because Petroglyph Games saw that Riot Games, they were making a ton of money, so much money with League of Legends, remember, released on 2009. This one on 2015. And they thought, let's do a multiplayer. It's the only way. It's the only way to recover from the losses that we had with our previous games. That's the consequence. If we play multiplayer all day long, 24 hours a day, then why should Petroglyph Games how could they think that they were making a mistake by focusing only on multiplayer? See that we weren't attacked not only during the finale, during the previous mission, and also mostly during the finale for the human campaign as well. So let's see. See how much time. This is a clear development mistake. If you know that your game has a slow gameplay, create a slider. A game speed slider. Simply sad. There we go. No. Get over here. Alright. Let's create a distractor. Now, let's go for the distractor. Well. Let's see here. Alright, we'll simply go for a lot of distractors. We'll go for a distractor build because evidently the Purger isn't powerful enough to hold out all of these locations at once. Alright, let's go for another Goo over here. See, gentlemen, see how much time it's taking me to finish this mission. See how much time it's taking me to finish this mission. And it's not because it was difficult, it's because it's dull. It's a clear flaw in gameplay, in the design of the... in the level design. Not the gameplay, the level design. Well, that's more than enough. This is more than enough. It's so terrible. Alright. This time I want to make sure that this is the last time I make you waste your time, gentlemen. This is a reality. This is the reality. This is the sad reality. of the situation. This is the sad reality of the situation. Alright. Alright. I know, you know, gentlemen, at this, it's way too late for me. It's way too late, but I will finish it. Don't worry. I'll finish it. Let's send the mother goo over there, and I think this time around we'll be able to make it. Yeah. Let's send some of these guys over here. We're about to hit population cap anyway. Oh, it's extremely late for me. Don't worry. Then we'll get to the intermission and to the rest of the gameplay. There we go. So, let's defend them for 5 minutes again. Sorry, gentlemen. Sorry for all of these delays, but you get to see the reality. I'm only showcasing the reality. I'm only showcasing the reality. The reality of the situation. Blow up enough to a hole, gigantic to charge it. So, where's the other? There we go. Alright. Now. Go for another large Prothean. And here we go. For the last time. For the last time. Let's see now.
All of the nodes are ours. We need to maintain control until the aperture device activates.
Unit under attack.
And there they are. Go damn it. Go damn it. Go damn it. This is so lame. So stupid. Okay. Alright, let's go again. Let's go again. It's so annoying. So the word to describe it, it's annoying. It's not difficult. It's not. I've already destroyed both of their bases. It's simply annoying. Annoying, it's the proper term. Gentlemen. You see that I've been patient before judging the game.
Unit under attack.
Okay. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Annoying is the word to describe it, that's for sure. Three minutes. 3 minutes. 3 minutes, gentlemen. I can't believe the gameplay is so slow. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. How Petrolif Games thought this was so slow.
Unit under attack.
Alright, the babysitting is almost over. So, they thought it was a great idea to annoy us even more. What's this? To annoy us even more by sending 2 epic units right at the end of the mission. If they destroy these things, I'll not continue, gentlemen. It's almost 4 hours. I'll get to the. We'll stop the stream for some minutes. I'll get to the intermission, let's call it, and
Unit under attack.
And then we'll get to the leisure gameplay. What? Oh no. One minute. Let's pray. No, better than pray. Let's save. Better than pray. Let's save. Oh. There they are. Again, it's always the same. It's annoying. The word is annoying. There we go. 15 seconds. Finally, this is the end. Five seconds, and there we have it, the finale.
We have assumed control. We must activate the device at the location. It is necessary to remove the defenders.
What does that mean?
This is it, Lucy Duck. We have to stop the goo here and now.
What does that mean?
We are with you, Saruk.
What? Get a mother goo to the aperture device.
It seems
What's this?
interference has caused fluctuations.
Oh.
Some reinforcements have arrived through
Finally. Okay. Let's save again, just in case, gentlemen. I need to get over there. Well, I can get through any of their destroyed bases. So, I pick the left path. Okay, let's send some guys there. Some guys there. Let's converge over there. God damn it. Morph Mother Goo, morph Small Prothean. There we go. So I need to escort a Mother Goo to that location. Interesting. Striders. And, well, I don't know what this could turn into. Well, no, this is simply another Mother Goo. Which is, no, but it has full health, so let's use that one. Right. Well. Now we need to send all of the things over there. I'll finish it. Where's the Mother Goo? There it is. Unit under attack. Alright. Let's get rid of that. There we go. Great. So. There we go. I can't believe how this is a finale. I can't believe that they thought this would be a proper finale. Let's see.
Connection complete. Begin transition.
There we go, gentlemen. The finale. You saw it. You saw it yourselves.
Aperture device fully functional. Opening path to remaining reinforcements. Standing together against the shroud that descends on our galaxy. All else be silenced forever.
So, let me get this straight. The finale for the campaign, it's a teaser for the DLC. It's an absolute teaser for the DLC. It's a teaser for the DLC. Well, gentlemen. This is enough. Enough is enough. Enough, it's enough. Yeah, of course. Oh, wait a moment. What's this? Another Goo mission. Another mission for the Goo. The Herald of Silence. So, Goo. Well, look at that. So, apparently, this goes on. We'll do this, gentlemen. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Because here you have the DLC campaign, which is different. Alright. So there's more. There's more. After rolling the credits, there's more. Well, gentlemen, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Excellent gameplay. I awarded it an A-. Excellent artificial intelligence. Excellent pathfinding, but sadly, the campaign, you saw it, we were 1 hour waiting for our Mother Goose to produce the units. The slow gameplay killed the campaign for me. Gentlemen, we'll get to the intermission. I'll stop the stream now. And we will continue later, after I've taken a rest of some minutes, and then we'll continue. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to the followers of the channel, and see you in some minutes. I'll take a rest or an hour, and we'll continue. We'll get to the leisure gameplay, right? Alright. God damn it. The credits rolled, but god damn it. Gentlemen, see you around. Remember that there's a small delay. So you'll be left with the intro screen, and then we'll continue.